Hello, gem hunter. What if I told you that an inconspicuous plant, one that many people step on without noticing, could be the key to finding diamonds hidden underground? It seems impossible, but that's precisely where the shock lies. Nature uses silent symbols to reveal secrets that even the most advanced machines struggle to detect. This plant isn't extravagantly beautiful. It doesn't attract attention with its colors, but it only grows in soils where the earth holds its rarest treasures. While mining companies spend fortunes turning over the ground, it simply flourishes in the right place. It's like a living map, a green password that few know how to interpret. Most see only an inconspicuous detail, but attentive eyes perceive a valuable clue. This is the power of seeing the invisible hidden in the obvious. Now the question is, would you continue to pass by, or would you learn to decipher the signs? If you want to learn to see what almost no one sees, subscribe to the channel and come with me on this journey. While mining companies raise dust with noisy machines that tear up the earth, nature prefers silence to reveal its secrets. It doesn't shout, it doesn't force, it doesn't impose. It simply whispers through signals that almost no one perceives. It is in this contrast that beauty lies. On one side, the brute force of exploration. On the other, the delicate flowering of a plant carrying a hidden message. Since ancient times, entire peoples have learned to observe their environment carefully, using vegetation as a natural compass. It was by looking at the leaves that they discovered where water flowed underground, or by following the behavior of trees that they understood the fertility of the land. Nothing was by chance. Every detail had value and meaning. And today, no matter how much technology advances, the logic remains the same. The Earth's secrets are still written on its surface. The problem is that we have forgotten to read this natural language. We rush past, staring at bright screens, and ignore the living map that has always been before us. Modern explorers, fascinated by the intersection of science and tradition, have rediscovered this ancient wisdom. In some regions of Africa, for example, they realize that certain plants only thrive in soils containing kimberlite rocks, the famous mother of diamonds. It's curious to note how what seemed like a mere botanical detail has become a valuable geological clue. It's as if the earth itself has left visible marks for those who learn to see. Throughout history, there have always been those who have been able to decipher these signs and benefit from them. Some have found water in deserts by observing only where small, hardy weeds grew. Others have located precious metals by noticing trees that mysteriously displayed mineral concentrations in their leaves. The point is not just to identify the pattern, but to trust the trained eye. And it is precisely here that a powerful lesson emerges. Nature never stopped speaking. It was we who stopped listening. And if a simple plant holds the key to hidden treasures, imagine what else might be hidden between the lines of creation. At the heart of science is something that seems like magic. Certain plant species, called indicator plants, are capable of revealing what's hidden underground. This isn't legend or superstition, but scientific fact confirmed by numerous studies. These plants can only grow in very specific mineral conditions, as if their biology itself had been molded to the subterranean environment. It's as if each root were a connecting thread that translates the Earth's secret into visible language. The most fascinating detail is that some of them flourish precisely in soils that conceal kimberlite rocks, known as the mothers of diamonds. In other words, when you see one of these plants, you may be looking at concrete evidence of the presence of diamonds, something that even advanced technologies can struggle to detect. This phenomenon creates a reality check because it shows that botany and geology are not separate. On the contrary, they walk hand in hand, complementing each other, like pieces of the same puzzle. The curious thing is that this revelation didn't come from modern laboratories, but from everyday observation. Farmers, shepherds, and travelers, over the centuries, noticed that certain plants only appeared in certain soils. There were no microscopes or satellite sensors. There were only watchful eyes and the patience of those who knew how to read the landscape. Later, scientists confirmed that these reports were no coincidence. The symbiosis between plants and soil was real, objective, and verifiable. Today, for example, we know that Pandanus candelabrum, found in some regions of Africa, grows precisely in soils with kimberlite deposits. Imagine the impact this would have on mineral prospecting, where everyone saw only exotic vegetation. Researchers began to see a natural marker for diamonds. This discovery not only validated ancient traditions, but also opened a new frontier of scientific research. And look, there's still much more to reveal in this video. But before continuing, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next few minutes, because the best is yet to come. It's at this point that the plot takes an almost cinematic turn. What seemed like mere botany becomes applied geology. A simple plant, ignored by most, becomes a powerful sign of hidden riches. This forces us to rethink the way we see the world. If something so discreet can indicate diamonds, what else might we be missing? Herein lies a profound lesson. Life hides messages in the most unlikely places, but only trained observers can decipher them. It's as if there were a second layer of reality, invisible to the daily rush. For those seeking mineral wealth, this means that the first tool of exploration is not the machine, but the eyes. For those seeking wisdom in life, it means learning to interpret the subtle signs that manifest themselves every day. And don't worry, it's not over yet. Activate the bell when you subscribe to ensure you follow not only what's coming now, but also the next episodes of this journey. Some explorers report almost mystical experiences upon finding their first indicator plant in the field. The feeling is that the Earth has shared an intimate secret, as if to say, "Look here, there's more than you imagine." And indeed, it's not just about diamonds, but about the logic of nature. Nature doesn't waste energy. It doesn't create patterns by chance. Every detail fulfills a precise function. Thus, when a plant decides to flourish only in a certain type of soil, it's because there's a chemical, mineral, and ecological reason for it. Understanding this reason is what separates the common observer from the true explorer. After all, while some pass by without seeing anything, others find valuable clues that change destinies. This perspective leads us to an essential point. Seeing nature not as a decorative landscape, but as an open book written in codes, we still need to learn to read. And if that already sounds incredible, stay with me until the end, because the next example will further change your way of seeing the world. The revelation of indicator plants opens space for practical and philosophical reflections. Objectively, it allows prospectors to save time and resources, directing their searches with greater precision. Symbolically, it shows that the extraordinary is often hidden in the ordinary. This changes everything because it makes us realize that just as these plants reveal diamonds, other situations in life hide treasures where we least expect them. How many opportunities have gone unnoticed simply because they seemed too small? How many people have been overlooked for lacking apparent brilliance when in fact they carried within them rare potential? The indicator plant is more than a geological resource. It is a metaphor for existence itself. The simple can reveal the valuable, and the banal can hide the essential. So share this video and subscribe now, because soon after, I'll show other signs of nature that can also indicate hidden riches. Knowing a plant exists is fascinating, but what really makes the difference is learning to recognize it in the field. The first step is to patiently train your eye. This plant doesn't stand out for its beauty or vivid colors, but for the subtleties of its structure. It often has more exposed roots, a twisted stem, or a leaf arrangement different from neighboring species. To the uninitiated, it looks like just any weed. To those who observe closely, it's like a discreet beacon pointing underground. A practical tip is to record each plant that catches your eye. Use your cell phone to take photos, write them down in a field notebook, or even use flora identification apps like iNaturalist or PlantSnap. The more records you make, the easier it will be to compare them later with botanical catalogs and previously published geological studies. Thus, each step taken in the field becomes valuable information for deciphering what nature wants to reveal. And where exactly should you look for these plants? They don't appear just anywhere, but in regions with very specific geological characteristics. Science has already shown that areas with kimberlite formations, the so-called mothers of diamonds, are strategic points. This means the seeker needs to direct their gaze to zones where the soil presents unusual mineral compositions. Public geological maps from universities and international institutions provide data that help identify these regions with the highest probability. By overlaying field observations with this information, the chances of finding a promising spot increase significantly. And the most impressive thing is that this process doesn't require drilling or expensive equipment at the beginning. Just attention, careful note-taking, and patience to cross-reference signals. While many see only ordinary landscapes, the attentive explorer notices clues that completely change the game. But observation isn't enough. You need to act methodically. When identifying the presence of potential indicator plants, organize your data as a true scientist would. Create comparative tables, plot the points in software like Google Earth, and analyze repeating patterns. If you notice the plant appearing in isolated locations with specific conditions, this is the kind of detail that deserves deeper investigation. Another important point is to realize that these plants generally don't compete well in fertile soils for agriculture, appearing precisely in more hostile terrains with low productivity. This happens because the minerals present alter the soil composition, creating a selective environment. In other words, what seems like a poor and worthless space can hide incalculable riches. This logic repeats itself in different areas of life. Often, what the world dismisses as irrelevant is precisely where the greatest treasures lie. Few prospectors understand that observing flora is, in fact, deciphering a secret language of the earth. Every stem, every root, every flower is a coded signal. When you record, compare, and analyze, you are, in effect, learning to read this ancient language. The beauty of this is that it's not just about technique, but about connecting with nature itself. It doesn't require millions in machinery. It requires discipline, sensitivity, and curiosity. Imagine walking through a remote region and noticing the repetition of a rare plant along the way. To the inattentive, nothing but vegetation. To the prepared observer, a powerful warning. There may be something hidden here. This knowledge opens doors not only to material riches, but also to a new way of seeing the world. And the best part, this video is far from over, so like and subscribe so you don't miss the next signs I'll reveal, because the earth still has much to say. If a plant can indicate diamonds, imagine the range of possibilities when we open our eyes to other signs of nature. Science has already identified several species capable of revealing the presence of metals, such as gold and copper. In certain regions, specific shrubs flourish only in soils rich in metallic minerals, acting as natural indicators of underground deposits. There are also fungi that thrive in mineralized soils, suggesting the presence of valuable chemical elements beneath the surface. And it doesn't stop there. Research has shown that some trees can accumulate traces of metals in their leaves, literally bringing to the surface particles invisible to the naked eye. This means that, instead of relying exclusively on machines, the explorer can read what is written in the vegetation itself. It's like having a living library before your eyes, with every root, every stem, and every leaf telling a story about what lies underground. Those who learn to interpret these signs not only find riches, but also develop a deeper connection with the workings of the earth. But this expansion goes beyond geology. It's about seeing nature as an invisible, constantly updated map. Every plant, every fungus, every color variation in the soil is like a line drawn silently by ancestral hands. The ancients already did this intuitively. They watched birds to find water, noticed small weeds to discover fertile spots, and even followed animal behavior to identify safe areas. Today, with science validating these practices, this knowledge gains even more strength. When you look at a forest, you're not just seeing green. You're looking at a code that, if deciphered, can reveal mineral, energetic, and even spiritual riches. And here's the crux. Every root, every branch, every detail is a reminder that the extraordinary is never as hidden as we think. Just train your eyes and mind to realize that the world around you is always leaving clues. And this video holds revelations that go far beyond simple plants. So stay with me until the end, because the next part could transform your way of seeing life. How many times have you walked past an ordinary plant without imagining that it might be revealing a hidden treasure beneath your feet? This is the point that changes everything. The simple, so often overlooked, can hold within itself the key to something extraordinary. It's curious to think that life works the same way. The most valuable signs don't appear in grand gestures, but in discreet, almost invisible details. It's like an unexpected conversation that opens doors, a seemingly small opportunity that transforms destinies, or even a simple habit that redefines your health and your mind. Just like the indicator plant, life presents us with signs that only those with trained eyes can perceive. The secret lies in learning to see value in what seems banal. After all, those who learn to read the invisible never look at the world the same way again. The biggest diamond may be where you least expect it, and the question is, are you prepared to recognize it when it appears? Now is the time to transform knowledge into action. If you've realized by now that nature speaks in codes, and that learning to decipher them is more than finding gemstones, it's finding meaning, then you already know that you can't just watch this video and carry on as before. I want to invite you to join a community of people who see the invisible, who don't let the signs go unnoticed. Write the following phrase in the comments. I see the signs, because I want to know who is truly willing to train their gaze and connect with this silent language of the earth. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and like to ensure you continue receiving new content that will open your eyes even further to the secrets hidden in everyday life. Share this video with anyone you know who needs to awaken to this vision, because together we create a community that seeks not just diamonds, but also meaning, purpose, and the ability to see beyond the surface. So tell me, Would you start looking at a common plant the same way after discovering it might be pointing to hidden diamonds? It's amazing how what's always been right in front of our eyes changes in value when we learn to interpret its signals. Nature never stopped speaking. It's just us who stopped listening. When we train our eyes, we realize that even the most discreet details can carry grand messages. And this is just one of the many secret languages the Earth offers us. Now, if you want to continue expanding this vision and deciphering new codes of nature, don't waste time. Click on the video now appearing on your screen. In it, you'll learn about a stone that changes color when it comes into contact with water. And the most intriguing detail is that it can reveal the presence of hidden diamonds. It will be impossible to look at a simple stone the same way after watching it. See you later, Gem Hunter.